What is going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it is time to review Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable, Episode 4. And a badass episode it was. Two things, though. Number one, didn't review the Toriko chapter. It wasn't like it was a terrible chapter or anything. I'll just talk about it in my next Toriko chapter review, because I thought about doing it today, but today's Jojo, and then Saturday. It's just kind of late to do it, so I'll just do it when I'm doing another Toriko video. So yeah, that's when I'll review the Toriko chapter. Also, someone asked me what it says on my shirt, and I happen to be wearing the same shirt because I need to do laundry. This shirt says, "In case of fire, break glass," but instead of a fucking fire extinguisher, it's a fucking marshmallow on a stick, because I thought that was funny. Anyways, bullshit out of the way. This this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it was really, really good. I mean, starting with the story progression, which I don't usually start with, but starting with the story progression, I mean, for the overall story, we have the seeds planted for Osiyaku, I believe that's how you say his name, I'm probably wrong. For him to become an ally, the seeds are planted. You see him and Josuke interact quite a bit in this episode early on, and it shows that a friendship can be born there. Koichi getting a stand, even though it's just a fucking egg right now, it's clearly going to become something else because of the cracks in the egg. So him getting a stand is big for the overall story. The stuff with Osiyaku is big for the overall story. And then in terms of the progression of the actual episode and the actual story arc that we're on, Josuke gets into a pretty good, decent length fight with the second Nejimura brother, whose name I do not know. And they fight it out, and Josuke seemingly takes him out at the end. We don't know just yet. So yeah, it's a really, really good episode. It's packed with content. I don't know how many chapters they did in this episode, but I'd have to imagine quite a few, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, it was a really good episode. And yeah, so that's the story progression. And as far as the actual content goes, the animation is great. You see Josuke and him going at it. I love seeing the little fucking bullets fly, and they just shred through stuff, leaving all those little holes. It looks really cool. It looks painful. Overall, the animation in this episode was on point. Like I said, story progression was good. The pacing was really nice. It felt a little bit quicker than the last episode. It slowed down in some parts, but never got slow. It just slowed down from its quick pace. So it was a well-paced episode. Music was, of course, on point, as always. And, of course, they had the crazy color palette changing and stuff. Not as much as usual, but I'm not really going to count that as a negative. It did it when it needed to do it, and it was really cool. So overall, this was a really good, well-done episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I really enjoyed its presentation. And yeah, we still have to know a little bit more. Like, we find out a little bit about the Nejimura brothers and why they're doing this with the bow and arrow. They're trying to find a stand user who has a specific power that they need, or, you know, just something in general that they can use to fix something or do something. And we don't know what that is yet, but very, very passionate about it. And it's the first time he breaks his cool, calm demeanor and actually starts yelling. So yeah, definitely interested in what their actual plan is. Well, I mean, I know what their actual plan is, but if you didn't read the manga or anything, then it's interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire episode. Not really a lot to say. Action was great. Animation was good. Everything else from a technical standpoint was really on point. I really can't give this episode anything other than like a 9.5 to like a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. It was a great episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I guess if they had totally wrapped up this story arc, that would have been pretty huge for progression, but it was already a pretty well-paced episode with a lot of content in it, so I don't think they needed to cram even more in there, you know what I mean? The next episode's called The Nejimura Brothers Part 3. I'm not sure how much content is left for this arc, because I don't remember it that clearly, but I do hope we get some of, like, the next thing in the next event starting, but maybe we won't, I don't know. I've heard shit about how this is only going to be, like, 39 episodes, and, I mean, Part 4 has a lot of, like, filler arcs that are just, like, they aren't that serious, they're just kind of slice of life with stands, and, they're bizarre and they're crazy and they're funny, but they do not need to be, like, two-parters. Like, some of these arcs, even the longer ones, I look at them and I'm kind of like, yeah, you could probably squeeze 6 chapters into one episode, honestly speaking, because there's no cliffhanger. There's no, like, it's just a little, like, fluff arc. There's a lot of those in Part 4, so I think it is somewhat possible to do the whole thing in 39 episodes, even though that is less episodes than Stardust Crusaders, and Part 4 is longer than Stardust Crusaders. I still think it is technically doable, but we'll just have to see where they go. That 39 episodes thing might not even be actually real. That might have just been bullshit, because I never heard any confirmation on that. So, yeah, but rambling over, this episode of JoJo, I really enjoyed it. So, what did you guys think of this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? You guys can tell me in the comment section below, or follow me on Instagram, add me on PSN, all that stuff. Give this video a thumbs up, share it on social media, both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you like what you've seen here, I'm going to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.